Yeah.
That means they branded it this way. And now you can be fact-checked on Facebook or Twitter or YouTube for mentioning it because they say it's a conspiracy theory.
It's from their website, people.
Here's another thing. This happened yesterday. We found the clip. Al Franken was on CNN. And he wasn't grabbing the anchor's breasts.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just to be clear, I think it was absolute bullcrap. I don't think Al Franken should have been fired for that. Right. And I know we should play by the left's rules. The truth is, if you look at what he did, this was not a fireable offense, and he stepped down, actually, I believe.
He did, yeah.
And I thought it was bullcrap. Look, if he was voted for by his people, they should have to deal with him.
Yeah.
Absolutely. He should still be there making a fool of himself.
Good rule.
So he was on CNN, and we're going to start building a case here. So I want you to watch all of this. This is an admission of the Great Reset. This is where he's talking about specifically costs of goods and gas going up. And he's actually saying that's a good thing. Here he was yesterday, and I was right. 6:15 a.m. Central on CNN. And the numbers, I think, if you go back, were because, and let me tell you why. This isn't bragging about how I remembered it. It rattled me to my core.
Yeah.
When I'm sitting there and I'm listening to, I was in the shower and I have my Bluetooth speaker and I hear Al Franken saying this. I'm going, wait, what? This is where we're saying the same thing. And I've said this before. I think Gavin has talked about this before as well. We're saying the same thing. And we're having different reactions. Where he's saying, "Yeah, you're going to pay more for gas, but you're going to get free childcare from the government." I don't really think that's a trade-off. I don't really think it's a good trade-off. Why? Because you suck at everything. Here's Al Franken admitting that gas goods are going to be more expensive, but you'll like it.
I think last time I was here, we talked a little bit about supply chain and inflation, and some of that is hangover from the pandemic. And but you're right. Thanksgiving dinner is going to be more expensive, and gas prices, Americans really care about that. But they also are going to care about, in Europe, on childcare, on the average European country puts $14,000 into each child, supplementing their parents to do childcare.
No,
in the United States, it's $500. That's going to save a tremendous amount of money for parents, and it's going to free up parents to go to work.
There you go. Now, you'll pay more for everything, but it'll allow us to, have your children for the entire day. And women, it'll allow you to go to work. This is the assumption, is all women want to go to work. Right. We should have joint income households, every couple. That's how it should be. You should pay more for gas. Basically, you will own nothing, and we'll show a clip where it actually says this. You will own nothing, you will rent, and you will be happy because we will provide the bare necessities, and everything else will be out of reach because it will be too expensive. That's good for you.
Right, and that is the kind of reset that I want, what you just said. Thinking that you have to have a two-parent or two-person income for every single family and just let the government raise your kids. No. Your job as a parent is to, I don't know, it's in the title, be a parent.
Yeah.
I understand that some people have to have two incomes sometimes.
Of course.
I get that. I'm not saying anything bad about that. But I'm saying that should not be the norm. The government should not be in the business of raising your children. And right now, I'm sorry they are. We've seen the results of it for the last 40, 50 years. I don't know. Do you think it's better now than it was then?
Yeah.
Do you think you have more love in the family now? Do you think you have more people staying together now? Do you think you have less crime now? Do you think you have better outcomes for people's mental health now?
Well, public schools have done wonders for urban communities.
No, but the Democrats knew that.
Yeah, no, they absolutely
did it on
knew
purpose.
that. Look, they have your kids for 8 hours a day from 5 through, I guess, 17, 18 here in the United States.
18.
I graduated early at 16. I always get that confused.
Well, now they
have you for 8 hours a day, and now they want to have you for an additional,
2-3 years.
2-3 years.
Yeah.
Because trust the government. So in the U.S. right now, gas is $3.39 a gallon, which shocks many people because it was in the dollar range for a very long time.
Much lower.
And in the U.K., it's $7.44 a gallon.
Oh, yikes.
Oh, my gosh.
So more than twice the price. Norway, $8.55 a gallon. Germany, $7.38. France, $7.23 a gallon.
Jeez.
In Quebec, where I was raised, it's at least 2 times what it is here at any given moment. They go by liters. And remember, it was so bad. The gas prices were so high. And people were complaining for so long that they put a pie chart on the pump stations. Darren, Pop Scott, explain it to people who don't remember.
Yeah, the pie chart really was to say, hey, we're not screwing you. This is where your money's going. Tax was the red,
showed where all the money
sliver was profit.
Yeah. in Quebec. So they made sure that the gas companies, it was Esso and Petro-Canada, I believe, said, look, if you're going to talk about oil barons, talk about big government barons.
Yeah.
They are the reason this gas is so expensive. And you see
love it.
in comparing prices to the United States and Europe and Quebec. Okay, let's compare the highest income tax rates. Let's look at those marginal tax rates, okay? This is important because he says, no, you'll like it. We'll be the European model. The United States, it's $37,000. That's the highest bracket if you're making over 37% on $500,000 if you're making over $500,000. I love how Biden wants to reduce that to anyone making over, hey, what's your salary? Anyone making over $400,000.
It's a random number.
It's just your exact salary. You picked it by accident. And then the UK is 45%, but you only have to be making $200,000 a year.
Wow.
So you're being taxed half. Germany, 45% at $318,000. France, 45% if you're making $185,000. Where I was raised, I said, make sure I'm correct on this. It actually went up from what I remembered. It is 53% income tax in Quebec for households making $221,000.
That is insane, and that doesn't even
the households are individual. I don't know that. I
think it's households.
I think it's households.
Yeah.
Because it used to be 51%, but it was a much lower threshold.
Yeah.
53%.
Unbelievable.
And the paltry sum they let you keep now gets taxed.
There's a VAT tax in Quebec.
Yeah,
so you have a VAT tax.
15%.
15% but it's actually worse. 7% tax totaled and another 7% tax. You're taxed on tax. So let's say, okay, well, look, the rich can pay their fair share in Quebec, my home province, right? This is what Al Sharpton is, Al Franken. I sound like Al. This is what Al Franken was praising.
There are other letters.
Scroll,
there,
I can't read, motherfucker. Scroll. So,
all right,
53% on $221,000 income tax. Okay, and gas prices are twice the price. Costs of goods and services are often twice the price.
Yeah.
People don't understand this. Milk, we purchase them in bags. It's very weird. The reason is so that you don't see how high the price of a gallon is in Quebec.
Wow.
Just want to be clear, it's a much higher cost of living. I remember when I was a kid, we used to go to Plattsburgh, New York, and I would buy Nintendo 64 games.
Yeah.
Why? Because they were $79 or $89 a game in Quebec.
Oh, dude, yeah.
He didn't declare it.
And I did not
No,
declare
of course
it.
not.
I could have done hard time for him in the back seat with his Game Boy.
Yeah,
Super Mario Brothers.
Stuffed them down my pants. And
Hide that
customers were like,
gold
hey,
in
what's
your
that in
pocket.
there? It's a chastity belt. You want to mind your own business?
Pedophile.
Like, why do I see an outline of GoldenEye N64? It's a branded belt.
I love the game.
Style.
It's to turn off PlayStation fans. The hell's the difference? Mind your own. So, this is really another argument for the great. This is the Great Reset.
Yeah.
This is what we're talking about. You won't pay for childcare. You won't, but you will through taxes, and everything else will cost more. But you'll be happier that way because we'll have control. And by the way, when we say shut down and issue a curfew, our house, our rules. If you think this is a conspiracy, and I understand this. The term Great Reset, I want to be clear, it's not a cabal of everybody. This is something that's sort of misconstrued when people say globalists. It's not a group of people who get together with eyes wide shut masks, right, and decide how they're going. What it is you're giving an absurd amount of power to bureaucrats who are acting in their own self-interest. And so, of course, they want more control, more power, and the easiest way to achieve that is through taking more from you, right? And globalizing this economy so that now you have more elites versus you who can take control. And that's how they can say, hey, we can control the supply chain. Hey, we can make sure that, for example, we increase the taxes, but it's more government programs. A subservient people are a docile people, just like the beagles that they bred for experiments at the NIH. So, here's from the World Economic Forum. And I watched this, and I thought, I was like, well, this is negative, right? This is a critique.
Surely.
This
to
is
be
a
a
critique
parody,
of the Great
right?
Reset.
Yeah.
No, they put this out, just to be clear. Hear it straight from the horse's mouth, as an advertisement. They think you're going to watch this and say, that sounds great. Here. You'll own nothing and be happy. Okay? Whatever you want, you'll rent and it'll be delivered by drone. That means no more delivery jobs. The U.S. won't be the world's super leading power. That means China will. A handful of countries will dominate. That's it. They think that's a good thing. Here's the one. You won't die waiting for an organ donor. We'll 3D print one. We won't transplant organs. We'll print new ones instead. You'll
Okay.
own nothing. You'll rent and be happy. So who owns it? Who owns it?
Yeah.
People don't realize the bullshit. This is why I can't stand Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren when people say, well, at least they mean what they say. No, they're full of shit. Remember when we talked about BlackRock, how they're buying up all the property so that Americans cannot afford housing to effectively lock them out of the market? Elizabeth Warren said, we need to deem BlackRock too big to fail.
What?
I forget what they're worth. They're managing something absurd, many trillions in dollars at this point. And Elizabeth Warren,
Rose Daily.
Miss Socialist, who says, right, we're fighting for you, says, BlackRock, they're buying up all the houses right now. They're forcing people out into renting. Too big to fail, which means they're guaranteed a bailout. But in this instance, even less so than banks.
Unbelievable.
Are they beholden to the kinds of regulations of too big to fail enterprises? There are some out clauses. No one should be too big to fail. Guess how something gets to be too big to fail? Through big government policies. Let's use a bank. Let's use banks as an example.
Yeah.
Okay? Let's use, because BlackRock, also part of their investments, we've talked about this, is they buy up a bunch of real estate.
Yeah.
You're a local realtor. You do well. You're a local real estate firm. I don't know the difference between a realtor and a real estate agent, just to be clear. I think they're the same thing. One is a better poster.
They definitely have better posters.
Either way, my ass is on their face at a bus stop.
That's right. They have the logo.
Yes.
You know?
So let's say you're a local real estate agency. Okay, you're doing well. How do you compete with a company that knows it has a never-ending supply of federal bailout funds? So the housing market is no longer a market. You go in, if you're an individual, or even if you are a local firm, you say, okay, we appraise this house, it needs this work, all right, $500,000. And BlackRock comes in, because they don't really care about how much it costs, and if they lose money, they're not the ones footing the bill. They go, $500,000, we'll pay $5 million, and then they rent it to you for the rest of your life, because they have no intention of selling it back to Americans. You will rent everything, and you will be happy. Either the government will own it, or the government will deem their crony capital, their crony socialist. Let's reappropriate that term.
Yeah.
Their crony socialist corporate overlords too big to fail. It's the same thing.
Right. And if you have any doubt about what we're saying, what happened when we did the lockdown? Did small businesses boom? Did mom and pop shops grow? No. The wealth of extremely large corporation owners grew.
Grew by
Amazon
6 trillion.
Grew. Walmart grew.
Yeah.
All these other tech companies grew. Do you see the people that won in this case? And by the way, this isn't something that we haven't been warning against for a long time. There's a reason that you don't hand over your health care. We said this with Obamacare. Now, you don't have the vaccine. Maybe you don't get the organ transplant. Maybe you don't get that treatment because you're in a category you've made a bad choice. Sorry, we can't help you. Oh, now we have your kids from 2 all the way through college, but then or high school, and then Bernie says we have to fund college after that. So that's another 4 years of indoctrination. So we've got your health care, we've got your kids, we've got your houses. What are you going to do?
This is directly while talking about the Great Reset from the World Economic Forum website. There's an urgent need for global stakeholders to cooperate in simultaneously managing the direct consequences of the COVID-19 crisis to improve the state of the world. The World Economic Forum is starting the Great Reset Initiative. By the way, Great Reset in capital letters. To be clear, that means they branded it this way. And now you can be fact-checked on Facebook or Twitter or YouTube for mentioning it because they say it's a conspiracy theory.
It's from their website, people.
Well, to be clear, they might change it because that video that we showed,
Yeah.
it was from a tweet in 2016. They deleted it.
Did they really?
They deleted it because they
embarrassed.
realized you'll own nothing, you'll rent and be happy. Didn't go, I guess Frank Luntz showed up in some sneakers and a toupee and said, hey, this is not resonating well. How do they think that's going to go over well? Of course they deleted it. It's like, you will own nothing and you'll be happy. And then it shows a drone delivering a package.
Yeah.
And everyone is sitting here going, this is Minority Report. And they're going, isn't this great? They show little spiders crawling up and you're sinking into the bathtub, that oracle. They're like, huh? And by the way, smash that Rumble button. Those of you, especially people who are on YouTube, come here, smash the Rumble button. Show Rumble that you love them. Look, people out there who say, conservatives need to start their own YouTube. That's not possible. That's not possible because of government intervention, right?
Shut you
but
down.
what you can do is you can still use YouTube and also use alternatives, and that's what we do.
Yeah.
Mug Club is what allows us to stay in business. I encourage you to join. But as far as the free show, which will always be available Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern. If you miss it, you can always come to Rumble or, of course, always at Mug Club.